Hello, and welcome to another Monday's live stream. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to increase engagement on your social media posts. Something that we all want to increase is more engagement, more likes, more comments, more shares of our social media posts. But how exactly do we go about getting more engagement? Well, today I'm just going to take you through some simple steps that will massively improve your engagement on your social media posts. So if you are watching live, please do say hello, give me a shout, let me know who you are, what you do, and again, ask any questions. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, please do give this video a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share lots of tips and advice on social media every Monday at 12:30. So, engagement. Who gets good engagement? Please do let me know. Do you get good engagement? Do you get bad engagement? What type of posts have you noticed tend to get more engagement than the other? Sometimes we can write social media posts and some go massively popular and others die a death. And we think, oh, why on earth did that happen? Okay. Well, today I'm going to teach you why that may have happened and what's making people stop to look at your post. Okay. Right. I've got lots of notes today. Oh, hi, Jeanette. Nice to see you. Thank you for saying hello. Hello. Again, if you've got any questions, do give me a shout. Anyone else watching, please do introduce yourselves. Okay, so my first tip then, when we are looking at creating content for our social media, the first one is you need to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Okay, we need to have a think about what do people want to see on social media, not what do we want to sell. Because sometimes we try and sell and sell and sell because we're just thinking about what we want to achieve, but we're not necessarily thinking about what's going to help our customers. What is our customer going to want to see? How are we going to make them make that buying decision? Oh, Jeanette said that she's got sporadic engagement and it is dropping off a lot lately. Again, yes, engagement is dropping off. The more and more businesses that join social media, the more and more individuals that join social media, the smaller the newsfeed is getting. So when you create a post on social media, say if you've got 100 followers on Facebook, for example, Facebook is not going to share the post you create to your 100 followers. It's only going to share it to around sort of 2 and 8%, depending on the structure of the post. And then if those people don't engage with it, it won't send it to any more people. So what we're looking for with regards to engagement is likes. We're massively looking for comments. That's what's going to increase the visibility of your posts. Okay? Because if you do a post and it goes to 4% of your followers, and those 4% then go like and they comment, any social media platform, comments are like gold. That's what you're aiming for. Because that social media platform is monitoring your posts once they've gone live to see what sort of engagement they've got. And if people are liking it, they're going to send it to more people. Social media is trying to make it a good experience for all their followers. So it's obviously going to share those posts that are more popular, that has the most engagement, and it's going to share that to the most people. Because if one person likes it, the likelihood a lot more people are going to like it. So the first thing we need to do is think about what is our customer likely to want to see. Now, I was going to refer back to a live stream I did with Amanda Bates a few weeks ago. So Amanda writes on my blogs, and she was also a great guest on my live stream a few weeks ago, and she was talking about how do you put the customer into your social media. So again, I will share the link to this blog because it was a really good blog and it really did have lots of tips about how you really do get into the minds and heads of your followers, of your potential customers. I'm just going to put this in the comments. So do have a look at that. That's definitely worth a read. I've just put the link in here. So have a look at this blog after this live stream, obviously not now, because there's some really good tips in there. And one of the things that really resonated for me for when I spoke to Amanda was that actually she was working with a client who they were selling men's shirts, and they come to where they needed some content advice. And they've been creating all this content, these posts, and they weren't getting much engagement at all. And what they were doing was they were selling men's shirts. So all their posts were quite male orientated. They were directed at men. They were really thinking about, right, well, what's going to make men stop and scroll? However, when they actually looked at their customers, what they realized was that their customers were females. It was women buying shirts for the dads, the brothers, the partners, the husbands. Yeah. It was women that were the customers. The end user was the man, but it was women that were the customers. So again, they changed their whole content strategy to start attracting women. Okay, even though it's a male product. So again, you've really got to understand who's likely to buy your product and don't make assumptions. Okay. So the second tip then, so we've got our customer, we know who they are, we kind of figure out what they like, what their pains are, what their challenges are, what we can talk about. So the second one then is, are we using the right language? And I think this is really important because we tend to lapse into a lot of jargon when we're writing our social media posts. We can be a real, we just go into work mode. When in our industry, we've got loads of acronyms. In mine, you can talk about algorithms, I can talk about SEO, but do you know what? PPC, all these acronyms, you'll rarely hear me use these. I might talk about robots, and I might talk about free posts and advertising and things like that. I might talk about keywords, but I don't slip into my industry acronyms, simply because most people wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. Okay, so you've really got to think about that language. And again, I had Angie Stewart on here a couple of weeks ago. She was talking about keywords, and again, she gave a fantastic example of when she was working with a guitar teacher, and he was using language like guitar teacher. Okay, not getting a huge amount of. She wasn't really ranking that high in the searches, not getting a huge amount of engagement. And actually, when they looked into it, that's because their customers weren't looking for a guitar teacher. They were actually looking for guitar lessons. So just by changing that language slightly, that's when they had a massive improvement. And yet it's so simple, but we just wouldn't think about it. So really think about that language. So I want you to drop the acronyms, be a lot more conversational with your language as well. This is social media. If we're on Facebook, if we're on Instagram, if we're on Twitter, whatever social media platform, even LinkedIn these days, it's conversational. It's not very formal. It's not kind of stuffy type language, as I call it. That's probably not very politically correct, but you know what I mean. It's really having that conversations, real conversations, and bringing in sort of real life examples. Okay. And the other thing is, don't just try and sell your stuff. People are not on social media to buy. And I know you've heard me bang on this about this so many times. Don't just sell your stuff. People are not there to buy. They're on social media to enjoy the experience, to have fun, particularly if they're on Facebook, see what the friends and family are doing. Or if they're on LinkedIn, maybe to find out a little bit more what's happening in their sector, learn and be educated, not to be sold to. Okay. So what type of language should we be using then? Well, I just thought I'd bring out a couple of examples here, just to sort of give us an idea of, well, what does that mean? How do we change this? Because what we want to be doing is we want to be encouraging engagement. Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to talk about and just run through a few examples of a product that I've come up with. So the third thing then is imagery. What type of images are you going to be using? Okay, I spend a lot of time with people who come to me and go, Bex, look at these fantastic images. We've created this video in Canva. We've created this great graphics. And look, we're making sure our logo is going on every single post. And look at this fantastic product picture. But we're not getting any engagement. We don't understand it. It looks great. Again, the thing about beautifully crafted images, people, we're not daft, are we, these days? We have a look and we go, oh, it's a beautifully crafted image. That's obviously for a business who wants to sell to me. Yeah. So I'm going to scroll straight past. And that's generally what happens. People just scroll straight past. That's beautifully crafted. That's obviously a business. Not interested. Okay. So sometimes those little snapshots that don't look beautifully crafted can really strike a chord with people, capture something in the moment, capture something behind the scenes, or things like that. Photos, fantastic. Yeah, they work really well. Infograms, they actually work really well because you're educating people. Yeah, you're teaching them things. You're not trying to sell them things. So really try and think about those images and have, encourage that conversation, encourage that intrigue, encourage people to stop scrolling. Have a think about when you scroll through your phone, what stops you scrolling? What captures your eye? Okay. And guarantee it's probably a similar thing for your customers. Right, so we're going to stop the scrolling. Again, ones with people in, brilliant. They by far do the best on any social media platform because people are generally nosy, aren't they? They want to know what people are doing. If they recognise anyone in that picture, they're going to stop and try and figure out what they're doing. It's that fear of missing out. Why wasn't I there? That's why Zoom pictures work really well. And there's a bit of Zoom fatigue. And people are like, no, not another Zoom picture. But they work because people stop and scroll and go, oh, who's at that meeting? Or maybe I need to go to the next one. Yeah. Okay. So number 4 then, how do we encourage engagement? So we've identified what our audience wants. We've thought about the language we should use on our posts. We've thought about the images. Okay. So how do we now encourage engagement? That's the next step. So what we've got to do is we've got to think at this point, think about our customers. What challenges do they have? What might they be struggling with? Or maybe what makes them really happy? What do you think is going to stop them? What do you think is going to pull them into a conversation? And people are much more likely to be pulled into a conversation if they feel that they, what's the word? My brain's not working today. That they, basically I can't think of the word. Resonate. Thank you. If they resonate with that issue, then people are going to stop and think. It's like if you've got a dog and you see maybe a top tip or something that's happened about a dog, you're going to stop and maybe look at it. If you haven't got a dog, you're not interested, are you? You're going to scroll straight through. So I've written a little example here. Okay. So let's assume we're a gardening company. Okay. Let's assume we're a gardening company. We've got a fantastic product. Okay. So we've got basically a fold up weeding bench. Yeah. It can be turned into a kneeling stool, or you can actually just put it up. It's just like a t-shirt. It's just like that. Okay. Folds up. It's particularly for people who've got maybe bad knees, the elderly, so they can sit down when they're doing the gardening, doing the weeding. Okay. So if I did this post on social media, can you imagine it now? Just think about this post. For sale, fold up gardening stool, spring-loaded legs with a foam seat, 60 centimetres high. There we go. There's a picture of it. There's the product. Bang it on there. Okay. Right. Well, if people are looking for that, then maybe it might stop them and think, oh, actually, I need one of those. I've just been looking for one. I'll buy it. Yeah. But the majority of people probably don't even realise they need a stool, and that's what they actually want. So I've reworded some of this post. So if we're imagining this spring-loaded, let's think about the picture first. Maybe it's a picture with somebody sat on it. Yeah. The target audience, the demographic of someone, is it male, is it female, the demographic. So let's say it's female over 70. You have someone who's female over 70, happily sat in the beautiful sunshine we're selling this lifestyle, sat on this really comfortable fold-up stool with a weeding. Yeah, no back problems. So we do some posts around, does anyone struggle with their knees when gardening? So we're asking a question. We're not just going, this is on sale now, buy now. We just say, does anyone struggle with their knees? Well, you can probably guarantee a lot of people who are elderly struggle with their knees. Yeah. Particularly when you're gardening. It is a crippler on the knees. When you've got to get down on the floor onto your knees and do that weeding, that's hard work, that is. So it's going to resonate with people who have bad knees. Okay. perfect, because this stool will help. Yeah, but we don't say that. You could also put something like, ask a question. What is the worst thing about weeding? Yeah, what's the worst thing about weeding do you find? And you can always guarantee people going, oh God, I hate it. I hate it when this happens, and I can never do this. And oh, I just wish I could have a portable seat to drag around so I could just sit down and have a little rest in between bits, something like that. So we're asking questions, getting people's feelings and thoughts. Yeah, it also helps with product development, which is fantastic. You might want to do a call to action as well. Put a call to action. Again, we're asking people to take action, whether it's answer a question, share their opinions. We could do a call to action like this one. It's just like something like, give us a like if you'd love to sit on a comfy stool whilst you're weeding. Well, to be fair, I've got one of these and it's brilliant. I don't have bad knees, but it's brilliant. And actually, if I saw that comfy seat, yeah, definitely. Crikey, all of a sudden we're attracting people who maybe not even in our main target audience, but yeah, it's making people's lives easier. It's making them better. Okay. You could ask another one that I've put on is, what's the one thing you wish you had in your garden? So you get the general gist of the idea. We're trying to encourage people to respond under your post, to type some comments, to give it a like. We're resonating, we're understanding our customer. We're not just saying, buy a fold up gardening stool. Okay, we're really linking into all these different elements of that product that's going to help with their lifestyle. Oh, hi Gary. Gary's late. No problem, we'll forgive you. I won't put you down as a late mark, but thanks. Thanks for saying hi. So those are the sorts of things you need to be talking about. Yeah, and hopefully that made sense. Right then, so we've run through, we've put ourselves into our customer's shoes. We're using the right language. We've got the right imagery. We are then talking about how do we engage. I know. Just a warning though, Gary, next time, I'm going to have to give you a late mark. It's your last warning. Right. So the fifth thing. We've got it. We've got this perfect post. What's the one other thing that's going to make a massive difference? Does anyone know? The one thing that's going to make a massive difference with engagement is basically if you tag someone in. If you have a collaboration with another business, but you're doing some great work together, what about the designer of this stool? What about that designer of a stool? Tag them in if they've helped you. Tagging other businesses in and or individuals, bringing them into the conversation to start talking. As long as it's relevant, it's got to be relevant to them. Massively helps boost engagement, because hopefully they're going to come straight in and start having a conversation under your post. Yeah. Okay. So again, tag people in when you can. So Jeanette's just asked a question. Would you just do the picture with that one question and not really add anything extra in the post? Yeah, I would. And that's a really good question, actually. I would, because even though you're massively trying to sell this product, if they engage with your post, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever platform you're on, identifies that they're interested in your posts. Okay. The minute you engage with something, they go, oh, they're interested in social media executive. So the next time you do a post, they are much more likely to have it put into their newsfeed, because Facebook identifies that they are interested in your content. So the next post, you're kind of taking them on a journey. So the next post would be, thanks for everyone for sharing your comments. One of our products that we're really, really proud of is this, because it does help people with the knees. We've got a fold up one. Fold it up and you put it in small spaces. So I'm really pleased. But, if you do have any other ideas for improving this product, please do let us know. Now, you may never be able to improve it, but you're asking for people's opinions. So again, we're taking them on a journey. We're not just going for that hard hit. We're really trying to engage them. share tips. You know, sharing lots of tips and advice works really well as well. But if you were going to talk about your product, that's what I would do. Okay. Because if you put more stuff into that post, like, by the way, we've got this product, it's still coming a bit salesy, and sometimes that may put people off from commenting. But if you're just asking an open question, then, you know, if they're interested, hopefully they'll message you on your social media platform. Or if they're chatting in the comments, you can say, oh, well, by the way, Sally, you know, if you do struggle, we do have this product which might be able to help. If you like, I can send you some details. Okay. So you're not being too pushy, but you just happen to offering to help even. Okay. So the number 5 then. So we've got the what the audience is interested in. We've sorted out the language you're using. We've sorted out the image. And we've talked about how we encourage engagement. We've talked about tagging. So the final thing then that I wanted to talk about today was, and this is something people forget, is if people are taking the time to comment and like on your post, you then need to like those comments and respond back. Okay? Again, the more comments you get under your posts, the more brownie points you're going to get from your social media platforms. So if you put a comment on there, particularly if you respond maybe with another question, maybe tag someone in and bring them into the conversation, then we're building up those comments. We're building up that conversation under your social media post. So really have a think about, how do we build this conversation under the post once it's gone live? So it's not as simple as creating a post. It's about what happens afterwards. That is the most important. And that's what I want you to think about. Okay. So those are my 6 tips for increasing engagement on your social media posts. And I can guarantee they do work. So just have a think about, forget what you want to sell. Social media is about building your community. If you want more engagement on your social media posts, then you really need to think about building that community, building those conversations, and doing a lot more than just posting. Posting posts on social media is a tiny, tiny little element of it. It's what you do afterwards that counts. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a lot. If you get your posts right, your audience will do the work for you. So really think about, how do we get those conversations? So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe to my channel, where I offer lots of tips and advice on social media every Monday at 12:30. However, I won't be here for the next 2 Mondays because I'm actually away. So, but in a couple of weeks' time, I've got Paul Raisbeck, who is a business coach, who's going to be sharing his experience as a business coach on social media. So he's going to be sharing lots of good tips. He's also been a TEDx speaker as well. So he's going to be really thinking about and talking to us about his experience on social media. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you again. Please do give us a like, and see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.